I guess there's some simple takeaways I'd like you to take, or not takeaways, as the case may be. And that is that it's a very simple process. Flour, water. And if you've got yeast and a sugar to activate it, great. And some salt and some other bits and pieces to add some flavourings and some texture and some nutrition, all good too. And that you just then got to add heat. And there's a really important takeaway from it is not to overcomplicate it. And don't want to take anything away from the ancient, age-old craft of making bread, and bakers, follow a very precise measure. And there's a lot of science and there's a lot of physics and chemistry in it. But the point I'm trying to make is don't get carried away by that. Just understand that you need to apply heat and those things, and voila. What else? I guess you could also say that another takeaway might be that it's cheap. This scroll here, this Vegemite and cheese scroll, probably 50 cents. This kumquat and chocolate loaf, probably, again, 50 cents. Maybe a little tiny bit more in this one here, perhaps $1. The pizza, even with the buffalo mozzarella, still only, $4 food cost max. So not at all expensive, and that's important. So I guess another takeaway is that you don't need really great tools. And some of you would know what my oven is like. It's like a dentist. You can't show its face on TV. It's that ugly. And it's hard to control the heat in it. But the point is, it's not an excuse. All you need is some coals, a fire, a camp oven, a black box in the sun. In fact, you don't even need, you can leave it on a bench. This was a bit of dough that was sort of excess this morning. I didn't put any olive oil on it, and it's crusted up. So it's almost like cooked. It's still very doughy inside, but the point is that's why you use olive oil. That's the takeaway I'd like you to take. Keep it nice and oily on the outside. So I guess also there is a little bit of a takeaway in the sort of environmental side, the sustainability side of it, and the history side of it. And, I think it's important to acknowledge, one, that Aboriginal Australians were the first to make bread, and that our landscape has changed so significantly. And we once had this beautiful cover of native poas and grasses, and now we've replaced it by putting hooves of animals. We ploughed it, we put fertilizer in it, and it's all blown away in the dust. And we've caused this sort of forever detrimental damage to this beautiful continent of ours, so that we could become the carbohydrate engine of the world and feed the world with grains. But anyway, that's an area that I won't get into. That's a long and one, but a good one to research. I suppose I would also like to emphasize that it's probably not that nutritious. It's more nutritious than anything you might buy in a shop, because it doesn't have all those preservatives, and it's so delicious it'll be gone in days. But, the white flour in there is too refined for it to be particularly nutritious. So the less refined the grains that you use, the better, would be a takeaway if you're looking for real nutrition. Otherwise, it's a hell of a lot of carbs. But everything in moderation. And the point is, it's delicious. So let's, of course, have a little bit of a quick tasting. I'll start with this scroll. Now that stacks up. Have a look at that. Probably going to need some butter. Certainly a nice texture. Oh wow. Yeah, that's really good. Really curious about cutting this one open, seeing what's happened to that kumquat and chocolate in there. Oh, it sounds good too. Look how that's turned out. You see those little veins of it. A little taste of that. Wow. Oh, that's delicious. I might leave that nice grainy loaf because that's a present for someone. And this pizza, well, I mean, it's, I've used one of Pete's stones, what do you call them, pizza irons, oops, and it was a beautiful job, and that can keep, pizza's always lovely the next day. So, I suppose the big takeaway is that it's absolutely delicious and it was really easy, and it might have seemed like there was a bit of mucking around and waiting for it to rise and all of that, but gee, that's a lot of fun too. And well, once you've got it in the fridge, it just sits there and you pull it out and bang, voila, it's done. So I hope you could tolerate all of this, and maybe you'll get to enjoy some. And happy cooking.